Hello and thanks for joining us on this Tuesday. Lots to cover today. Here are your noon headlines. Today, a House vote expected by lawmakers on who will become the next speaker. In less than 2 minutes, we go to Washington, where the road to 217 votes remains unclear.
Determining what's real and what's fake. I'm Danya Backus with a look at new AI detecting technology and the difficulty keeping up with artificial intelligence.
And after spending 13 years under a legal conservatorship controlled by her father, pop icon Britney Spears is speaking out in a new memoir called The Woman in Me. Everything you need to know at 12:22. But first, we have a look at weather, and it is another chilly day. Let's take a look at our Tuesday.
You see, I got my sleeves on. It's been pretty chilly today. In fact, this morning was some of the lowest morning lows we've seen so far this fall season. Got all the way down to 46 degrees here in the capital city. We've since started to rebound to more of the upper 60s. There was also a little bit of fog this morning, but as we continue through the rest of the day, maintaining nice sunny skies as temperatures are starting to warm up a bit to the middle to upper 60s across the state. 66 in Hot Springs, 68 in Pine Bluff, Camden already clocking in at 70 degrees. Overall looking to climb to the low to possible middle 70s today. Plenty of sunshine. It is going to be a nice little breeze though coming from the northwest, so if you're like me and you're not that much of a fan of the cool weather, wouldn't hurt to have an extra layer of sleeves as you head out the door.
Well, voting is scheduled to get underway today for Ohio Republican Jim Jordan's bid to become the next Speaker of the House. Jordan expressed confidence, but not everyone is in the GOP conference has signaled they're on board. Skylar Henry has more from Capitol Hill.
Will you be Speaker by the end of the day?
I hope so.
Ohio Congressman Jim Jordan said he was feeling good heading into today's vote in his bid for Speaker of the House. Monday night, some fellow House Republicans were also confident.
I believe we're going to get Jim Jordan across the finish line.
Jim has done a great job through persuasion.
Others in the GOP are still sore over ex-Speaker Kevin McCarthy's ouster and feel this is a case of the tail wagging the dog.
We've had a minority of the majority dictate all of this, and it's unacceptable.
A House without a Speaker can't get much of anything done, and the seat is vacant as war escalates in the Middle East and an election year looms large here in the U.S.
If he's going to lead this conference during a presidential election cycle, and particularly a presidential election year with primaries and caucuses around the country, is going to have to be strong and say Donald Trump didn't win the election and we need to move forward.
Jordan was asked about those election-denying concerns this morning.
I've been very clear about that. There were states who unconstitutionally changed their election law, and that's what I objected to.
Jordan wouldn't say how many rounds he's willing to go to clinch 217 votes. The slim Republican majority leaves him very little wiggle room. Only 4 detractors can keep the Speaker's gavel out of reach for Jordan. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Now, if things don't go Jordan's way, at least one GOP lawmaker is circulating a resolution to allow the acting Speaker, Patrick McHenry, to keep serving until next month. The federal judge overseeing the criminal case against former President Donald Trump related to the 2020 election is imposing some limitations on what he can say publicly about the case. In a campaign speech in Iowa, Trump said the gag order ruling will be appealed. And the White House says President Biden leaves for Israel later today to show support and to address the growing humanitarian crisis in Gaza. On Tuesday, Israeli airstrikes hit areas in southern Gaza, killing dozens. It happened in a part of the territory where Israel's military told Palestinians to go after evacuating the north ahead of a possible ground invasion. The Israeli military said it was targeting Hamas hideouts and command centers. Israel has bombed Gaza, killing thousands of Palestinians since the Hamas terror group unleashed a brutal attack on the southern Israel on October 7th, killing more than 1,400 people and taking about 200 other hostages. Well, this afternoon, we're learning more about the memorial being held for the Little Rock City manager, Bruce Moore, who passed away over the weekend. Mayor Frank Scott Jr. announced services will be this Saturday at the Robinson Center A reception will start at 10 a.m. in the William Grant Steele Ballroom, with a memorial service to follow at 11:30. Moore was just 57 years old and worked for the city for over 35 years. Tonight, city directors will discuss the next steps for the city manager position. What happened today? Little Rock's Department of Housing and Neighborhood Programs moved to make home ownership a reality for more of the city. This morning, city officials held a groundbreaking on Bowers Lane, the site for 16 low-cost homes. The project is part of Mayor Frank Scott Jr.'s commitment to support the neighborhoods east of I-30 and south of 630. The U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Developments is also paying part of the construction costs. And a heads up, right now, state and local police are working to get drivers to put down their phones. The You Drive, You Text, You Pay campaign is underway. Distracted driving is among the top causes of accidents on our nation's roads. Departments are increasing their patrols and looking for drivers violating the Arkansas texting while driving law. Fines for distracted driving can range from $250 for a first offense and up to $500 for any additional offenses. And the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff continues to celebrate its sesquicentennial year with dozens of events and celebrations. This week is particularly special. It's homecoming week. The official homecoming kickoff just started about an hour ago, and they're celebrating 150 years of excellence with a wide range of events from a gospel extravaganza, comedy show, movie screening, and of course the historic parade and homecoming game. Frank D. Dorsey II, Dean for Student Involvement and Leadership, says everyone is either a new friend or familiar face this week.
It is the greatest family reunion you can ever participate in, being a student or a graduate of a historically black college or university. This week we come together to recommit, to re-engage and reconnect with our alma mater. It's more than a football game. The football game happens on Saturday, but there's a plethora of events that happens before the actual day. This is a week that we really harness our mission, our milestones, and our memories as we celebrate our 150 years of excellence in the state of Arkansas and in our country.
Now, for a full list of events happening surrounding the anniversary year in homecoming, just go to thv11.com. Well, spooky season is here, but nothing is scarier than your money being stolen. It's happening here in Arkansas and across the nation by way of a scam called phantom hacking. THV11's Ashley Godwin has tips on what you could take to the bank.
I think this particular scam is that they're going to the trouble of pretending to be a tech company.
Phantom hacker, that's the term that's being used to describe the latest scammer, specifically posing as tech support, a government agency, or a bank to try and steal your money.
And we really haven't seen as much of that. Usually it's a text message or an email, maybe a pop-up, but now you have actual people calling and talking you through downloading software.
Here in Arkansas, bankers have seen this happen, hurting not only the business, but their customers too.
Just one bank alone, I think they lost $25,000 in one quarter to fraud.
In the scam, the person will call the victim saying their computer and finances have been hacked and the money must be moved, like to the Federal Reserve or another government agency.
They're not set up to take deposits or anything like that. So if somebody tells you that you need to move your account to the federal government, accounts don't exist there. So that's an absolute lie.
There are ways to protect yourself. The FBI recommends you do not click on any unfamiliar links or attachments. Do not download any software, and do not contact any phone numbers provided in a message or email.
They will never call you and ask you for your password, whether that be to your mobile account or your online banking.
Well, another scam the Arkansas Bankers Association is seeing a lot of is check fraud. It's recommended you don't put your checks in the blue box outside or in your mailbox. Take it directly inside the post office. And speaking of scams, the Saline County Sheriff's Office is also warning about scammers pretending to be them. They say someone is calling from a 501 number saying there is a warrant or citation out for you and ask for your payment. The department says if you receive a call from someone doing this, to hang up and call the official sheriff's office number. The department says they will never ask you for your payments over the phone. Well, developments in AI is making it harder to tell the real from the fake. At 2 minutes, we're taking a closer look at the race to keep up with AI and keep it in check. But right now, Simone has a check of our forecast.
Well, we got nice sunny skies out across the metro today. How long is this going to stick around? I have that answer for you coming up in your full forecast.